look, I think I'd have to say Mick Price, which would be interesting what he'd think of that. But I spent years with Mick before I went out on my own. It was probably where I learned how to run a business, as well as the bloodstock side of things and the horse side of things. It was a great learning curve from the point of view of just rounding out my education. I'd done a lot of things up until then, mainly on the farms, some journalism, managed jockeys. I'd sort of seen a lot of sides of the industry, but the one side that I hadn't experienced was training horses, which I guess at the end of the day, everything that pretty much everyone does in this industry ends up, the culmination is on the racetrack. So it was a great way to round out my education.
I mean, some trainers, you know, may not be the best at looking at yearlings and being judges of yearlings and what they will become as a racehorse, but Mick is one of the best, isn't he?
Yeah, look, Mick has stood the test of time, I guess is what I would say. You know, before I was with him, while I was with him, and since I've been with him, they just always seem to bob up with good horses, and the actual selection of horses and so on to refine your eye. When you do come from the breeding side of things, you see a lot of these young horses grow up, and you potentially see how they develop. It's a long time from a yearling to a racetrack. I mean, most horses from yearling sale to a racetrack might be 18 months or more for some of them. So there's a lot more development goes on, and how you develop those horses through to actually be athletes is a big part of it. So to spend some time with someone where you are selecting yearlings and then developing them through to racehorses, that was a big part of completing, I guess, completing education of someone who wants to work on their own.
And you, of course, have such success now as a bloodstock agent in your own right, and obviously that understanding what it takes to be an athlete as a racehorse that you've learnt from Mick has really stood you in good stead when you're looking at yearlings.
We sort of pride ourselves a bit on what happens with these horses once they leave the yearling sales. We're pretty hands-on as far as their management goes, where they go, who has them, how long for, you know, where they spell, where they pre-train. Just trying to get a horse who really wants to be a racehorse. And I think we do a lot of dressage with ours. We spend a lot of time just trying to get good mouths on them, so that when they go to the stables, all the riders are pretty complimentary and want to ride them, that they're nice rides, that they then get a bit of a good reputation in the stables. You know, the staff often sort of clamour over who's going to get on them, and they become a bit of a stable favourite. We just find that early educational between the yearling sale and the first time they walk into a stables, it just really sets them up for their future if you can do all those little things right, which is something that I guess I got a really good insight for.